As the god of the Black Gay Comic Geek channel, I have been burdened with glorious purpose to tell you to hit that like button while watching this video. Welcome to my Safe Gayven. Happy Pride. It is June. Guys, you know what that means. June means the release date of Loki. We are finally here. We had to wait an entire month for another Marvel property to come out. And I know people have been salivating at the mouth. I know I was. I'm just like, please, can we get some more of those Marvel shows? Marvel, like, come on. And yet, we're finally here. So I just wanted to say really quick, thank you to Disney and Disney Plus for allowing me to see the first 2 episodes of Loki early. For the rest of you guys, I believe episode 1 is dropping tomorrow. I don't know why they changed it from Wednesday to Friday, but here we are. Now it's on Wednesdays. And so with that, just like I did with Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, how I went live every Friday at 7 o'clock, now because Loki has been moved to Wednesdays, I will now be going live on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock instead of Fridays. So be on the lookout tomorrow for the live spoiler discussion for episode 1 of Loki, or maybe episodes 1 and 2. I don't know if they're dropping both episodes or just the one. And I believe joining me tomorrow will not only be my normal co-host Ron, but I believe Fantastic Frankie is going to be jumping on with me tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a fun Wednesday night of talking about episode 1 of Loki. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow night. But obviously with that said, Loki hasn't come out yet. So this will be a non-spoiler review for my thoughts and impressions on the first 2 episodes. Well, I probably won't give my thoughts of the first 2 episodes. I'll mostly probably just talk about the first episode. Or I'll just say what I think about it overall. I'm not going to really give any details about anything. But the official synopsis for Loki on the IMDb page says, a new Marvel chapter with Loki at its center. And I'm like, that doesn't tell you jack shit about what this show is about. So I'm going to give my version of a synopsis. And so basically the synopsis of Loki is, if you've seen Avengers Endgame and you noticed at the towards like the middle of the movie, you saw where the Avengers went back to the very first Avengers movie and they interacted with the Tesseract. They were trying to get the Tesseract back, and that plan ended up failing because of the Hulk, the 2012 version of the Hulk. And so Loki ended up getting access to the Tesseract. And so he ended up altering the timeline where, if you remember the Avengers movie, Loki got arrested, then he ended up in Thor the Dark World, Thor 2, and then his mother died and all that other stuff. Well, that ended up not happening in this timeline of the Avengers. Loki ended up taking the Tesseract back and he escaped from the Avengers. And so this show follows the 2012 version of Loki. So if you're wondering, oh my god, like how is Loki back? Didn't he die at the end of Avengers Infinity War? Yes, you are correct. That version of Loki died at the end of Avengers Infinity War, but this is time travel. We're dealing with an earlier version of Loki. So that's my, I guess, kind of complicated explanation to what this Disney Plus series is about. Hopefully that made sense to you guys. Hopefully you watched the Marvel movies, because otherwise, yeah, if you didn't, then none of this will make sense to you. But yeah, if you don't know by now, like these Marvel movies are basically just one giant soap opera and television series. Like every movie connects to the next, which connects to the next, which connects to the next. And so now this is the latest property that connects to the last set of movies. And actually the showrunners, and I believe Kevin Feige did say that this particular show, the Loki show, will have more ramifications within the MCU than even WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier had. But anyway, getting into my initial thoughts and my non-spoiler thoughts for the first 2 episodes of Loki, like I really liked what I've seen so far. Like this show is fun. Obviously you got Tom Hiddleston coming back as Loki, and arguably Loki is one of the best villains in the entire MCU. There's an argument of like, well, who's better? Loki, Thanos, or Killmonger. Those are like the holy trinity of Marvel villains, because Marvel cannot seem to get their villains right in these movies. And then on top of that, even when you do have a somewhat decent villain like Hela, Kate Blanchett, they end up killing her off. And I'm like, how do you cast Cate Blanchett in the movie? You kill her off in the very first movie that she's in. Like, Hela should have been saved for, like, I thought Hela would have played a bigger role. Like, in the comics, the reason that Thanos seeks out the Infinity Gauntlet is because he's in love with this entity known as Mistress Death. I didn't think they would introduce a Mistress Death in the MCU, but that easily could have been Hela. She could have been Mistress Death. After all, she says she's the goddess of death in Thor Ragnarok, which she is in the comics as well. She's the Asgardian goddess of death. In the comics, Mistress Death is the embodiment of all of the universe's death, not just the Asgardians. But anyway, I'm rambling on. They shouldn't have got rid of Cate Blanchett. That's really what I'm boiling down to say. But yeah, this show does not skip a beat and with everything that we've gotten from Tom Hiddleston's Loki and all the other movies that we've seen him in. And just like I said with WandaVision, just like I said with Falcon and Winter Soldier, the thing about these Disney Plus shows that I really love and I'm so glad that they're doing is that you just get more fleshed out development for these characters that you never really would have gotten from the movies. And that's not to say that there was no real development from Loki, but for the most part, Loki was just a foil for Thor. Everything that we got to know about Loki was in opposition to the character of Thor. And obviously with the show being named after him, Loki, you get to know more about Loki. You get to know more about the psyche of Loki. You get to deal more with the character of Loki outside of his relationship to Thor and the Asgardians and everything like that. Now, that's not to say that Thor isn't mentioned, that the Asgard isn't mentioned, that Odin isn't mentioned, because after all, those are his family. And you get to see more of Loki's perspective and everything that we know that happened from his life so far. And the thing about Loki, whereas WandaVision was solely about Wanda dealing with grief, Falcon and Winter Soldier was mostly about Falcon dealing with racism and then also capitalism. They didn't go as far on either topic as I wanted them to, but that's what they touched on. I feel like Loki is more about self-examination. Basically, Michael Jackson saw a man in the mirror. Take a look at yourself and then make a change. Na 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 na. I digress. And then also with this show, dealing with Loki and time travel and things like that, you get introduced to a new player, a new organization within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I just have a feeling it's going to have huge ramifications and is going to show up way more often in future installments of Marvel movies, the TVA, the Time Variance Authority. And especially with the introduction that we know Jonathan Majors is going to play Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror's whole thing is dealing with the timeline and time travel and things like that. I know the TVA and Kang the Conqueror are going to have some interaction at some point. And the whole idea of the timekeepers who rules over the TVA and all that other stuff. And I think in the comics at one point, they did introduce or try to have Kang be one of the leaders and become a timekeeper, I think. I'm not that familiar with the TVA and the timekeepers. I'm probably going to have to save that for Ron tomorrow. I know a little bit, but like when I looked up and tried to do my research, like the timekeepers and the TVA and things like that, they were introduced in like the 80s during like the Walt Simonson's run of Thor. And I've never really read Thor like that. Only recently I started reading Thor, and that's the most recent stuff. I didn't go back and read the old stuff, which I mean, I guess I should at some point. I will, whatever, who knows. And so with that, you're introduced to a new character within the TVA played by Owen Wilson, Mobius, and he's basically like the head detective of the TVA. And that's basically what I can gather this show is from the first 2 episodes. Like, this is a straight detective story with Loki at the center. And when it was first announced that Owen Wilson was going to be in this show, I was just like, really? Oh, like, I don't know if I see him. Like, that's a weird casting choice to me. But honestly, like, he works. He's a great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and his chemistry with Tom Hiddleston is excellent. Like, Marvel, at least the Kevin Feige side of Marvel, does an excellent job when it comes to casting for the most part. And obviously I have my problems with certain things, like Tilda Swinton being the ancient one instead of them getting the age, instead of them casting an actual Asian man or even an Asian woman. But even though I have my problems with that, Tilda Swinton was still great as the ancient one. Like, I feel like Marvel does a great job with their casting for the most part. And the reason I separated the Kevin Feige side of Marvel, because then you get to the original Jeff Loeb television side and you got Danny Rand as Iron Fist, and I'm just like, nah. And even Mike Coulter as Luke Cage to a certain extent. Like, he has the look, he has the physique, but everybody else was just like acting circles around him in that Luke Cage show. But yeah, chemistry between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston, chef's kiss. Like, they were so fun to watch. And then another great addition to this show that I was surprised and I'm happy to see her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Wumi Masaku, who played Ruby on Lovecraft Country. I'm not sure her character's name. It's not even listed on IMDb, but she basically plays the head of security. And I'm really hoping, because again, only saw 2 episodes, but I'm hoping her character is more than what she's so far been portrayed as in these first 2 episodes. Like, I love Wumi Masako, plus, you know, black actress, black women in the MCU. There aren't a whole lot of them getting leading roles. You really just have like the women of Black Panther and then Monica Rambeau, but I want to see more black women getting the spotlight in the MCU. That's why I'm like, I really cannot wait for them to introduce Storm in the MCU, and she better be played by a tall, dark-skinned black woman, and Marvel better give her her own movie, and she better be an Omega level mutant. Marvel, y'all better not try me when it comes to Storm. Because I will burn that whole shit down. But yeah, the best way I could describe these first 2 episodes is it was just fun. Like, obviously, you got the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so of course, there's going to be some jokes. But the thing about this show that I love, there weren't moments, because this is sometimes my problem with Marvel. Like, instead of living in moments of drama and tension and everything like that, like, they'll instantly just cut it with a joke. And I hate that. Like, perfect example is in Thor Ragnarok. After his entire planet was destroyed, they instantly throw in a joke. Or in a moment in Doctor Strange when he pops his collar and finally becomes Doctor Strange, not the Sorcerer Supreme, but he finally accepts his role as a sorcerer, they throw in a joke with the cape like rubbing on his cheek and things like that, and he's like, stop it. It's like, why would you do that? I hate when they do that. And yeah, sometimes it works, but more times than not when they do that, it doesn't work. It's like, just live in the drama. Like, what are you so afraid of? And that's the thing about Loki that I enjoy. They don't do that here. Like, the moments where there are jokes, it works, and the jokes are funny, and the moments that there are tension, the moment that there's some emotional weight, they stay in that, and I love that. And so that's another thing with the show. Like, there's a lot of emotion, and especially the first episode, specifically with the character of Loki. And I love continuing to see this character grow, but this time in different ways than we've seen him grow in the movies. Like, that was one of my fears going into the show, because they took the 2012 version of Loki, who was literally straight out of trying to destroy the world and rule the world in the first Avengers movie, and now you're taking this version of Loki and giving him his own TV series. I'm like, dang, like, I would like to have seen the Avengers Infinity War Loki gotten his own, all the growth that we experienced with that character, given his own series. But actually, after seeing these 2 episodes, like, I'm loving this version of Loki and the growth and a different type of growth that we're getting with Loki. And Tom Hiddleston just continues to shine as this character. I always would like to see him as Loki. But one thing, obviously, I do gotta address, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it is Pride Month, and I did address this in the YouTube Shorts videos that I post on here that I transferred from my TikTok. But yes, Marvel did confirm in a trailer or whatever, in a profile picture, that Loki is actually gender fluid, and in the comics, Loki is gender fluid. In some moments, he appears in the appearance of a cisgender male, and other moments, he likes to be in the appearance of a cisgender female, and he likes to swap between the two. And also in the comics, he's bisexual. And honestly, like, based on the first 2 episodes, like, I can't say anything because I feel like anything I say would be spoilers, but I don't feel like they're really going to dive into the whole gender queer aspect. I feel like they're going to try to have their cake and eat it too by giving it to us, but not really giving it to us. And then I doubt they're even going to touch on his bisexuality, like, at all. If anything, maybe he'll give like a passing glance at another male character, but that's it. Like, it's going to be something that straight audiences could completely ignore. Like, I don't know, I have no faith, and it's the same problem I have. I'm like, Eternals, I'm looking at you, because Brian Tyree's character is supposed to be a gay Eternal, and he's supposed to have a husband, but I'm like, they're probably just gonna hold hands at the end of the movie, and it's like, there you go, guys, there's your gay character, celebration, representation, woohoo! And it's like, yeah, no, trash. But yeah, that's essentially everything I have to say about the first 2 episodes of Loki. I'm not gonna rate it yet, because after dealing with Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, like, oh, it's so great in the beginning, and then you peter towards the end, and you're just like, oh, what happened? Like, I was disappointed by the end, and that's how I felt about WandaVision. I was disappointed by the end. That's how I felt about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was disappointed by the end. So we'll see what happens with Loki. Like, I would say I'm enjoying these first 2 episodes a little bit more than I'm enjoying WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, but again, I don't know where the show is going to go by the end, because I believe, just like the other episodes, or I believe just like the other shows, there are only 6 episodes for the entire series. But the good thing about Loki, as opposed to the other 2 shows, is all the episodes so far have been pretty long. Like, The first episode of Loki was 52 minutes, and the second episode of Loki was 51 minutes. Or I might have gotten those reversed, but those are longer than Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. So hopefully that trend continues where those episodes are either just as long as those first two or even longer. And hopefully it doesn't disappoint by the end. So yeah, even though I'm not going to give a rating, I enjoyed the hell out of it. That's my rating. That's my unofficial rating of Loki. But the question is, are you guys excited to see Loki? What are some of the things you may expect to see in the show or predict or hope to see in the Loki show? And then also, once you get a chance to see it tomorrow, come back here and let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Also, guys, if you have not seen my video that I posted a couple days ago, because I have hit 4,000 subscribers here on YouTube, thank you so much for that. I have officially released my merch store, so you can click the link in the description below for that if you want to get your hands on a shirt. So if you want my Black Gay Comic Geek logo or the things that I love in my fantasy, blood, sex, gore, and magic, or welcome to my Safe Gayven on a shirt, or you don't even have to get it on a shirt. You can get it on a mug. You can get it on an iPhone case, a Samsung case. You can get it on a pillow. You can get it on a women's shirt. You can get it on a sticker. Whatever you see on Teespring, you can get it if you're interested. Thank you so much for even being interested, and for all of you that have purchased shirts and orders and things like that already, thank you so much. And for those of you that are interested in making a purchase in the future, thank you so much. And then for those of you that aren't even interested in making a purchase, but you're simply watching this video, thank you so much. You can definitely help out by Hulk smashing that like button. Hitting the like button is a way of showing love to me, and it doesn't cost a thing. Just like the J-Lo song, your love don't cost a thing. Let me get out of here. But anyway, that's all I really got that I have to say. So guys, if you can, again, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. If this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. Once again, guys, a reminder, I am going live tomorrow night, Eastern Standard Time at 7 p.m. to talk spoilers for episode 1 of Loki. So tell your friends, families, and neighbors about the live, about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.